So this guy disappeared from YouTube and hasn't shown progress on his game Karlson in a while. That means I must finish Karlson.
Oh, you don't know what Karlson is? Karlson is just a little game I'm working on, which is currently like the 17th most wishes game on Steam, so smash wishes now, gamers!
I didn't know what to call the game, so I just called it FPS Physics Game. Yup, I'm creative. I placed some cubes around the map to make it more interesting, then a blank gray plane, then I added a very important feature, making the player able to look around. Wow! I realized how cool walls are, so I added them into the game to be able to run and jump off of them. I wanted the player to be affected by the game's physics system, so I made my own physics-based character controller instead of using Unity's character controller, which is not affected by forces. One of my favorite things about CSGO is its movement. So I tried adding bunny hopping. Yep, that didn't go as planned. For the enemies, I made a character model. Making the hands were more difficult than I thought they would be. Sometimes, when I would move one bone or part of the body, another would move as well. This is where weight painting came in. With the more paint on a bone's area, the more influence it had on that part of the mesh. To fix this, I had to clean up some of the weight paint spillage. Just imagine your neck snapping when you move your shoulder. Yeah, not good. I made the character menacing and attached it to the player. Except, I don't think this is how we see it in real life. At least I don't. I gave my player dainty baby hands. Yeah, I know. They are small, cute baby hands, but I will change them. I gave the arms a skin tone and moved on to making a knife, very inspired by CSGO.
Yes! Oh my god! Yeah! 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 Oh yes!
The arms felt kinda bland, so I added gloves. Eventually, the game came out looking just like CSGO. I can see the resemblance so well, right guys?
Oh, hell no, man.
Then I added a snake trail thingy that lets you look back on the crazy movement you just did. I made the knife a lightsaber and regretted it. Here is the very simplified version of the code for bunny hopping. Basically, to bunny hop, you strafe in one direction and hold either A or D depending on the direction of the strafe. If you do this continuously, you can get into a flow of going much faster than if you were just walking or running. Initially, it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. Weapon sway is a subtle but cool thing in games, where your character's arms and weapons move in relation to when the character moves around. It makes the character feel less robotic and more alive. I tried implementing that and... I added difficult cube enemies that literally do nothing except float and wait to be killed. They were placeholders. I made the pistol bullets. Apparently knives can shoot bullets. Yep, makes sense. I gave bullets trails, and I can't catch. It looks like I'm the Nine-Tails Fox, right?
No!
After playing around with bullet trails and creating a fireworks show, I made the bullets do damage. Weapon shooting and switching were in progress. Again, copied. Inspired by CSGO. I made a pull-out knife animation. It definitely worked the first time I put it in the game.
Huh?
It also definitely worked the second time.
Boy!
I made a cool shotgun. Got it shooting and tried resisting the temptation of making it shoot an excessive amount of bullets. You can probably guess I failed resisting. I made the shotgun bullet and played around with the destructible wall. I made the character model into a ragdoll. This basically makes them move based on physics and their human-like bone constraints. Then I had too much fun on Mixamo. I had some interesting issues with ragdolls when trying to make them walk based on physics instead of using preset move animations and Unity's nav mesh and aging controller. This is called an active ragdoll, which is a ragdoll that applies forces on itself to move. It would try to replicate and target the rotations of the preset move animation via the help of the bones and joints. This type of character movement can be seen in Gang Beasts and Human Fall Flat. Inverse kinematics was used to find where to place the leg. I almost got the desired result, but felt implementing a more reliable and stable enemy was better for now, and just made the enemy a ragdoll on death later on.
Bye, have a great time.
I worked on the enemy hold and gun animations, but they didn't seem to want to look at me. Am I that ugly, bro? And just like my last video, I spilled water everywhere again. Haha, I am so funny. It's actually just the path that enemies can move on. I made the enemies turn into ragdolls on death, and I may have spawned too many enemies. It's basically a lawnmower simulator at this point. I also made the ragdolls fall and take impact based on where the bullets were shot from. Oh my gosh, guys. This is literally me on the dance floor. Hit like button if you agree. I added slopes and recoil, but the recoil wasn't very smooth at first. I made it so the recoil would stack on itself. But yeah, it's not supposed to go over the player's head. I added crouching and fixed the recoil.
Oh my god. Oh, hell no, bro.
And fixed the recoil. Games such as Minecraft have view bobbing, which makes the movement feel more like real life. I added this into my game.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
Also, I decided to add speed lines using Unity's particle system. The amount of particles on screen would depend on your speed. Games such as Apex Legends have sliding mechanics that make me go wee down slopes and hills, so I decided to add sliding to my game. Minecraft also has a mechanic where when you are falling down, your character's hands float upwards until you hit the ground, where they then return to the original position. So since I'm big brained and I definitely have an intimate understanding of level design, I started making levels on the fly without any planning. I didn't say no planning. I mean, look at this. I know, genius, right? But seriously, I started the drawing and existentially questioned my existence as my drawing skills were so good. These levels are pretty much placeholders for now as I learn more about level design. I started off with making a b-hop section first. I scrapped what I originally had and encased my player in a box. Wait a minute, this looks like the SpongeBob Future episode. I added some b-hop platforms, and yeah, it was too bright. I did a bit more research on level design and started the second segment of the level. Yeah, pretty trippy. Since this was the first level, I made sure to treat it as more of a tutorial to introduce the game's basic mechanics. First, starting off with movement, jumping, and bunny hopping. Then, sliding down the tunnel to the enemy room. After that, breaking a destructible wall and crouching to get to the final segment while running. I made a finish line and added confetti for when you reach the end. Also, the bullet holes would stay where they were spawned, but by parenting them to the object they hit, it looks like they actually stick to the surface they hit. This makes the bullet holes not float in the air, which is, yeah, how it works in real life. I added reflection probes and light probe groups for better lighting. I played with the lighting because I realized the indoor was so dark, and I also realized how freaking ugly the wall texture I used was. I also added a in the enemy room just to make things look more cool, and because lights are very cool, I like to be able to see things. Thumbs up if you like lights. I also added some final touches like anti-aliasing, which smooths out edges. I adjusted some materials properties, added sounds, and yes, they just killed their friend. These enemies are ruthless. Also, just like in games like Overwatch, where there is a satisfying kill sound, I added something similar. Thanks for watching me make the start of FPS physics game. Yeah, I need to work on that name. Enjoy the gameplay.